I can start. Enrique, thank you so much for this opportunity to share my experience with ayahuasca. Thank you for the opportunity to learn while I've been here. Before I start, I want to state that I'm Bulgarian and I've lived abroad for a number of years. And part of the reason why I wanted this video made is because I want to have it translated in Bulgarian so that more information is available about ayahuasca for the Bulgarian audience. I know that there are a lot of sources about ayahuasca in English. And yeah, that's pretty much it in terms of motivation behind the video and of course sharing my experiences. So yeah. Do you have questions or
Yeah.
yeah.
How did you decide? First of all, how did you decide to come
Yes.
all the way here to the jungle?
Yeah. So I've looked at. So I've never been interested in taking drugs. I don't drink or smoke, but I've always been interested and fascinated with ancient folklore. I wanted to know more about the answers of the questions, more of the answers of the universe, like what is the universe, who are we, and I've looked at ayahuasca for a number of years, just looking to see whether it indeed can expand your mind and provide some of the answers that we find are so elusive to us in our daily lives. And when I decided to come here, so I've looked at a number of various options where I can try ayahuasca, and I chose to come at La Luna del Amazonas because the groups were smaller, and the shamans who are guiding us through the ceremony are not giving you a massive dose of ayahuasca. They're giving you a small dose initially, and then they want to see how your body reacts before they increase the dose, which is something that I'm very much for. And as it happened with me, with the very first dose, I was immediately taken into another realm. I did not purge like a lot of the people that I was with. So I was in a group with 6 other, so in total we were 6, so 5 other people. We all had very different experiences. With ayahuasca, the first night was the most profound night for me. I did not purge a lot. But before I even get into some of the specifics about what I saw, it is imperative to understand that ayahuasca is not a drug, and that it is a medicine administered by the shamans and the people that have lived in the jungle for millennia. And for them, it is also a way of connecting with the higher powers, whether it's Mother Ayahuasca or the gods. And in part, that was my curiosity, why I would pursue and why I should pursue, just to see and explore. Before the ceremonies even started, what I really liked was the fact that we had a meeting with the shaman, and the shaman wanted to know what our intention was with ayahuasca. And I think that is imperative, that people who take ayahuasca come here with a very clear objective for themselves in order to guide their process, whether it's healing, whether it's receiving knowledge from the universe or connecting with the universe. Ayahuasca does a lot, and I've witnessed this myself with the people from the group. Ayahuasca does a lot in terms of healing some of the trauma, addictions, some very deep psychological, mental even issues that we have as people, and the way it does it is really, it strips you of all of your mechanisms that you have constructed in your mind to try to cope with some of these issues, and it shows you how you should do it. The visions or the experiences, let's say, are unique for everyone, and that makes it really interesting, because there is no single way, there is no uniform way to answer it all. So after we have identified, so my objective when the shamans asked me what I wanted from ayahuasca, I told the shamans that I wanted to know, and I was here to know, to learn, and I was here to be a stronger and at the same time a gentler human being. What I really liked is that the shaman looked at me and said, I will show you. And indeed, the very first night after I took ayahuasca, I was, so there are these patterns that you see, these very bright colors that I now know are the portal to getting to ayahuasca. And the way ayahuasca works is it purges your body. So once it enters you, it works its way around the various organs, and you can feel it actually moving around your body. And it needs to leave your body after that. And it told me that it needs to leave my body, whether through vomiting or in other ways. But once it has left your body, then you're able to learn the lessons that you need to learn. And what is interesting also is that ayahuasca is showing us not what we want to know, but what we need to know. And what we need to know is different for different people. And the very first night, again, after I saw these patterns, and it became that these are the portal to entering that realm. I had read in books that one of the ways to make sure that you're dreaming and you're maybe in control of your dream is look at your hands. So I looked at my hands, and the very first thing I saw was this strand of light in my hand, and I quickly realized that this was I call it the fiber of life, that was leading me to a much bigger entity. And I looked, and it was the fabric of life that I call it. It's almost like a road in space with various patterns around it. I immediately realized that I could do anything I wanted with my body. I could disintegrate it. I wanted to shout, so I spread my legs and my arms and I shouted, and my body just burst into fragments. And then I was able to see that these little fragments are like rainbows. They are essentially light. And the rainbow is a pattern that reminds us of the cosmic link with the universe on a daily basis, just like the plants, just like the animals. There were a lot of lessons. So after I became aware that I can do anything with my body, and I've experimented a little bit with it and took different shapes, I could see how the shape shifting was occurring. I could see how the shapeshifters, or people that use, especially in folklore here, can look through the eyes of the jaguar or the anaconda or the various animals, and I could see how they're doing it. I didn't do it myself, but I could see how that was happening. And then I started asking my questions. I started asking about the future. I started asking about the past, and I was able to travel into the future and see for myself what the future is like. I saw war. I saw the conflict in Ukraine, which was explained to me is not over a piece of land. It is not about Crimea. It is a conflict of identity that goes back many years into the past. And a lot of answers to questions that I've always wanted to ask were presented to me, the most important of which was that we are all connected, that we are beings of light. I saw Mother Ayahuasca as a woman that was nurturing and taking care of us. I saw that there is also a Father Ayahuasca, that there are beings above us, beings above those beings, beings above those beings, so a hierarchy of various beings. There was no fear the entire time I was being taught and shown these lessons. At the very end of the hierarchy, there were these triangular beings, and of course I wanted to dissolve them too, so I dissolved them too. And they also were beings of light, like us, made of the same fragment, light and love. And I was asking ayahuasca, why do you call it love? Like, why is it love and why is it light? And it was telling me, what else would you call it? And indeed, what you were feeling throughout this entire time is an indescribable feeling of love. That being said, so after I've seen all of this, after I've seen history, after I've seen the future, after I've seen religion and various forms of religion as constructs or as portals to this realm, I wanted to see my ancestors, and I saw my ancestors and I spoke to them. I saw their pain. Some of them, they've asked me to do certain things and talk to certain people. I saw people that were no longer with us. I saw people that will be with us in the future. It was a very rewarding experience. For a moment, I wanted to be aware, so I looked around the other participants in the ceremony, and I saw that everyone had a different experience. I could see the darkness shrouding some of them. And in my second ceremony, I could see the light in another one. I could see how he was seeing what I was seeing. And that he was there and he also saw me, so we communicated during the ceremony, and we shouted at each other and said, "I see you," and then I said, "I see you too." So that was really nice. It is really important, the group of people that you're with, it is really important to have you will form a bond with those people. I would recommend that from my own personal experience, that ayahuasca is experienced in smaller groups. For me, knowing what I know right now, it is unfathomable to have a group of over maybe I think dozen is a lot. I would say maybe 8 to 10 people at the most. And hundreds of people is definitely not something that people should try. In terms of practical advice, I would say that people should not abuse ayahuasca. They shouldn't drink it a lot. I know that people want answers immediately and they want to take as much as they want to take in order to see them immediately, but there are certain stages where we need to cleanse ourselves of certain experiences. Ayahuasca needs to work with us, and it doesn't happen instantaneously. For some people it takes a long time, for others it happens instantaneously. It really depends. What the shamans have taught us is that alcohol is a great impediment to be able to sit with ayahuasca. And I don't know, because I am not a drinker, I've never liked alcohol, and I don't know if that is something that facilitated and allowed me to see things more clearly so quickly with such a small dose, which was just below the average dose. But even the second time, I've taken ayahuasca 3 times and I've done 8 ceremonies. So for the other 5 of the ceremonies where I did not drink, I just attended so that I am with others and received the blessing and protection of the shamans. But with the second dose, which was much smaller than the initial dose, I was able to access that realm, but ayahuasca clearly told me that I should not be taking it anymore, and that I need to look for certain things. I need to look for the beauty and the details in life, because it is everywhere we look around us. The animals, the plants, they're all symbols of these patterns of the universe that surround the fabric of life. So it showed me that during my second time, and because I am not somebody that listens very much, I tried it a third time. And I drank like literally minuscule amounts of it. But ayahuasca was not happy with me, and she had turned her back on me, and she told me that, I showed you everything, like what more do you want? And it was clear to me now that it was a significant lesson for me of humility and respect for ayahuasca. And it resonates. So after that third session, what resonated with me was some of the teaching of the shamans. So what La Luna offers and what has happened is, once we have the ceremony with Enrique, with you and the shamans, we get together and we talk about our experiences. And I think it is important that that is done, because we can share with the shamans, and what the shamans, we can share our experiences and we can learn from their knowledge. And what the shamans have told us is that through humility, through respect, through patience and discipline, we can get to that state of peace, of light, love, and peace. And that is the order that it was presented to me. That light is the medium, love is the state, and then peace is the final condition, the final state that we're in. And you do feel at peace. I saw my future. I saw the way I will die, and I'm completely okay with it. I know that that is the nature of things. For those of you that want to reach out to your ancestors, I want to tell you that our ancestors are there. They're always with us. They're these beings of light. They're waving at us, and they love us, and we always carry them in our hearts. Ayahuasca gave me an opportunity to make amends with some of them that have passed away, and people that I will now carry in my heart going forward, knowing that they're with me. It was it was an illuminating experience of no precedence for me. And I'm extremely grateful to the shamans. I remember after the first ceremony ended, and I felt that pain, that pain, because you're crying the whole time, because you're feeling the pain of others, but you're feeling the pain, you're feeling the love, and at the same time, towards the end, you are already at peace with yourself, having answered a lot of these questions that I have had in my entire life. What is the meaning of life? Is it worth living? Like, why are we doing all of this? Why are we going through these motions? Now I know that life is about living, that we need to live life, that it's beautiful, that we will find love, that our ancestors are always there. They love us, they welcome us. And at the end of the ceremony, I felt this immense gratitude, and I was like sending kisses to everyone and thanking everybody, and the shaman specifically for what they've done. The shaman, when he came to do the closing ceremony to bless us and guide us, I remember touching his feet and was saying, gracias maestro, and he thought that I am still having visions, and he said, cálmate mi hijo, and I said, sí, estoy aquí. And when he realized that I am here, he continued with the ceremony. And when he finished, I told to him, paz y amor, love and peace and love. And he said, eso es ayahuasca. And that's it.
Thank you, Stefan.
You're very welcome, Enrique.
Would you recommend this to other people?
I would absolutely recommend it to people that, to everyone. I think everyone should experience it. There is something to learn from expanding and from opening your mind. I also saw that ayahuasca showed me that not everybody is ready to do it, and it's absolutely fine. Not everybody wants to know, and not everybody is prepared to know. But at the same time, for people who have tried a lot of things, who have not found help in traditional medicine, in the classical medicine, but can find help in traditional remedies, I think that ayahuasca, and more specifically the shamans that are there to guide us and help us throughout the process, throughout the journey of healing, I think it is imperative that ayahuasca is tried. Again, we cannot force it. We can only, and that's something that was revealed to me, is we can only mention it to people, and if people are prepared to do it, they can decide for themselves. Again, I highly recommend, and I'm not doing this because you and I've had this amazing experience, but I highly recommend La Luna, because the setup for me was just ideal. I was able to unplug from the real world that we are in, many call it the matrix, from the 3D reality, if you wish. Live in the jungle, experience the jungle, have these talks with the shamans, participate in the brewing of ayahuasca, talking to one of them, and having this very down-to-earth, very welcoming approach to the whole process, which I know can be intimidating to a lot of people. And I thank you again. You have made it a very easy, almost a seamless process of getting connected with ayahuasca and ultimately getting connected with the universe, because that's what I feel we have done. And I know that some of us have had dark experiences, but the dark experiences are actually part of the journey, so that we can get to that state of peace with ourselves, because ultimately that's what we, I think, all aim for: living in peace and living in harmony with each other, and feeling love for each other. And that is something that ayahuasca has shown me. Thank you so much.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias, Enrique.
No.
Muchas gracias.